The Todd Shapiro Show.
Time to hit the button!
On Canada Talks, SiriusXM 167.
Tommy, stick around. Just hey, we're gonna get is Brandon Ward on the phone?
The time has come for CEO Profiles.
Oh, Brandon, we're going to do things a little bit differently today. Brandon Ward of Lifted Innovations. We're following this guy's journey from starting a company, lifted.com, and what it's like. He's supposed to be our Gary Vee of the program. He's entrepreneurial. He gives us great advice, and he motivates. Brandon, how are you?
I'm doing well, Todd. How you doing, buddy?
Good. Well, listen, I figured because we got a great comedian in studio. He's not really a comedian, actually. My apologies. He's a self-help specialist. He's one of the best in the world, actually. He makes Tony Robbins' giganticism look tiny, and he's one of the best at it. And I figured you guys should just talk to each other because you're both so motivational. Tommy Alama, meet Brandon Ward.
Namaste.
Tommy, how you doing, sir?
Good. Great. How are you?
Hey. I'm doing well, sir. Doing well.
Good.
So, Brandon, maybe, well, Tom, why don't you, Tommy, ask Brandon? Well, I'm asking it now, but just pick up on this about inspiring the youth. First, let me ask Brandon how he does that.
Sure.
Brandon, how do you inspire the youth?
I think I inspire the youth by action, Todd. You know, living true to what you're like, the values that I hold. And just being an example by that. I think you got to back up what you say and actually doing it and setting an example in real life and pushing and having a vision for what you want and going after it and learning and being humble, you know, recognizing that you make mistakes while you're learning. Just being genuine, authentic, and humble. That to me is what I hope is inspiring to the youth.
And Tommy Lama, how do you inspire the youth?
Well, I go back to basics. I believe Sesame Street shows tremendous family values for the children. The children will learn that if you grow up with a bad attitude, you will live in a garbage can. They will also learn that if you're a blood-sucking vampire, but you're good at math, people will forget that you're a vampire. And they will also learn that if you like cookies, you're considered a monster. And basically, the reason you never saw Cookie Monster's feet is because he had diabetes.
Yeah, he did. No, a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah. By the way, and they will learn through Tickle Me Elmo that if you let people touch you, you will get far in Hollywood. Hashtag Tickle Me Too.
Tommy Lama can be found by the way, at Tommy Savitt.
I can be found at TommyLama.com.
Oh, TommyLama.com.
Well, Tommy Savitt is my God-given name.
Okay, yeah.
And then
I
found the Maharaji Yamaha Suzuki Toyota, who spoke to me when I was meditating in a landfill, New Jersey. And and he told me, like Moses was spoken to, similar. It happened, Jesus, Moses. I'm the next.
Wow.
So. And then he changed my name. I changed my name to Tommy Lama.
Okay, TommyLama.com.
Yeah.
Where to go. That's it. That's
like the Dalai Lama.
Exact. One M.
Yeah.
Brandon Ward, that's nice. And you guys over at lifted.com and Lifted Innovations, a tech company. Every week I ask you this, but what was something that you learned this week that you might not have known last?
The thing that I've learned this week, providing more clarity for my team is super helpful, man. Just mapping out priorities, weekly, monthly, yearly basis, like really mapping that out so there's a roadmap. I think the peace that can bring. Sometimes because I have the vision in my mind and I forget that not everyone else sees what's in my head. So what I've learned is getting that stuff out on paper and making it visible for the team can be a very powerful practice. So Tommy, by the way, man, that was awesome. I loved so much truth in what you're saying, man, through Sesame Street. I have to agree with you. I think the youth is missing out hard on the hard-fought lessons learned from Sesame Street. I really appreciated all that.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
And Tommy, what did you learn this week that maybe you wouldn't have even known as of last? You're always evolving and learning, too.
Always evolving. And, I mean, since we're on the topic of children, there's a big epidemic, child obesity. Because the kids You got the helicopter mom and dads, and they're catered to, and we can't hurt your feelings, and they can't cope with the real world, and that's why we have the epidemic, child obesity. They're just filling their numbness with food, and the way you beat child obesity is with child labor.
Okay.
That was
you want an iPhone? Build one.
Not anymore. Yeah, I like that. Used to play outside, man. Not anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
See, he knows what I'm talking.
We got to get out more.
Yeah. Get out.
Yeah.
Get out of the couch.
Yeah, get out.
I rode my bike everywhere, man, and played outside. Spotlight, tag, football. Like, that was always what we were doing. Like, there was video games around, but not like it is now, man. I honestly feel kind of sorry for a lot of these kids growing up now because they don't know the world outside of their phones.
Yeah, my dad used to say, get out of my life.
I mean, these kids are so lazy that when they text, they won't even spell out all the words.
Their thumbs are big even now. They're bigger. They're not even getting the work in on the thumbs that most do.
It's a chiropractic dream.
Oh man, it's let's talk about I've never asked you this question, Brandon Ward from Lifted Innovations, actually, because you are a startup and generally there are more of a millennial style in the office. But what about like elder folks in the workforce, 50 plus, call it? Some of those on your team, or do you notice some of those in the industry of tech and maybe even the cannabis space?
Yeah, I do. And there's no one, I believe them, there's no one above 50 on our team. But we've got a family guy on our team. I personally love his energy just because of the way he brings experience, he brings stability to the team. I'm a millennial. I'm like right at the beginning cusp of that. So I like to think that I'm helping change a bit of that narrative that, not all of us are entitled and kind of crappy, self-centered humans. But I think you need both, man. You need to infuse the energy and excitement and passion that I think younger generations bring, and you want to couple that with the experience, the steadiness, the unfazability, I guess, if you will, of older generations. I think it's important to have a bit of both, man. And we steer away from. At least I work with my team on that, steering away from the ageism or whatever it is, kind of being discriminatory against that type of stuff. Because just because someone doesn't necessarily put in crazy hours at the office or per se does not mean that they're providing the same value. And that steadiness is really, I think, an underrated quality when you're moving very fast and changing very rapidly as a growing company is often.
And Tommy Lama, who's hanging out with us as well, with Brandon Ward, CEO of Lifted Innovations. Do you ever do work with the elderly?
Well, basically, the only thing I do is go after older women. I agree, the steadiness, because older women, there's no games, there's no chase, they're too tired. Younger women like to play games like, what's your real name? Or why does your nephew call you dad? So, yes, you could say I do elderly work.
Well done. Yeah, you do. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, they are tired, aren't they? Oh, shit. I can't even. My goodness. Okay. Brandon Ward, wow. Where do I take it from here?
I think Todd, here's my thing. Tommy, what do you want to talk about, man? I'm curious.
I'm an open vessel because there's nothing in here. I'm an open vessel. I have no direction. I can go with whatever flow there is. Wherever needs to be talked about will be talked about.
Oh, I like it. Looks like what do you think? I mean, dude, I'm open because we often talk about business and stuff. I think there's a lot of interesting things going on in the world right now. So, dude, I'm open to talk just about anything you want to talk about, man. Anything particularly on your mind right now?
I've been asking people this question all week long, and I'll continue on the thing. We saw the big comeback from Tiger Woods, very inspirational story. And then Donald Trump tweets out that he spoke to him and he's giving him the freedom of what's the award called? What's it called, Brandon?
Oh yeah, I saw that. Something I don't know.
Oh man, the freedom, it's Presidential Medal of Freedom. It's like the highest civilian award that one can get. And some were going, well, why are you giving this former Central crackhead and messing around on his wife guy this award when you could be giving it to a doctor? So, Brandon, what do you think about that? Do you agree with Trump doing that?
I mean, I think that to me seems a little bit like a political play from my perspective. Obviously, I think it was kind of capitalizing because I agree. I mean, the thing, I think it is cool what Tiger's done. I love seeing him. It's his first Masters since 2008 that he's won, right? Because he blew his knee out, or hurt his back, whatever it was, back in 2008. And he's been on the rise, and he's had all the prostitution issues and the challenges that he's had over the past few years. I love the triumph, but at the same time, I mean, the guy kind of put himself in the position, and he's done so well as an athlete to fall off from a high point that he put the work in for, and then to kind of fall off based on his own behavior and to come back. I'm not really sure if it's really deserving of the Presidential Medal of Freedom award. That's just my opinion.
No, and Tommy Lama, what do you think about that?
Well, as you know, I consult.
Brandon, I'm already laughing.
I consult many celebrities, names I can't mention.
I know. You're
due
big
to
guy.
Confidentiality.
It's nice of you.
Tiger Woods is a client. I can't talk about him per se. But I mean, it's an incredible story from the rise and fall, the rise, the fall, and the rise again after an orgy is an incredible human experience. I mean, he lost everything because he was encumbered by a menage a trois. And the worst part about being involved in a menage a trois is when no one shows up. I've lived that.
Oh, sorry.
So there's nothing worse than that. So it's an incredible comeback. Being with so many women against your will because you're sick and you need to numb yourself from the reality and the pressures of the earth. And you lose everything as a result because you're with all these women and you're broken, your back is broken, your wife breaks your windshield with the bat, and he just came back, he was counted out, and it's poignant. It's poignant. It's so beautiful.
He deserves it then.
He deserves a Medal of Honor.
A Purple Heart?
A Purple Heart. He's lost everything.
Hey, one of the things we see in sport, which can reflect business, is the unexpected. Brandon Ward joins us, and I know he loves the sports, and I know that he's doing a great job with Lifted Innovations and working so hard at getting this company going from a startup to, hopefully a multi-billion-dollar company one day. But there's unexpected things that can happen, and we saw it last night with the Columbus Blue Jackets sweeping the Tampa Bay Lightning, the favorite team versus the least favorite team in the playoffs. No one bet against them. Not only did they bet against, no one bet against Tampa Bay, no one even predicted at all, not one person on the planet, that it would be a sweep. 4-0. Unheard of, really. Calling it one of the greatest upsets of all time. Brendan, how do you deal with sort of these unexpected changes in business, and how can you keep your head held high?
Expecting them to happen. That for me, Todd, that's like really what it is. Just anticipating that things are going to pop up that you can never anticipate or expect or plan for. I think that's, especially as a growing company, man, the whole process is just figuring it out. Dude, you're learning. I'm learning every day. I love it. It's hard. Like some days I just wonder what the hell I've got myself into. But that's when I think you're growing when you're pushing the limits. And for me, that's just remembering and reminding myself every day that unexpected things pop up. So, but I want to hear. This is I'm giving my responses are direct to what we're doing with the business. I like Tommy's though. I want to know. I want to know what Tommy does to.
You're right, Brandon. I want to know what Tommy would do when there's this, expecting the unexpected, like a big sweep. Tampa Bay Lightning get crushed by the Columbus Blue Jackets. How do you overcome this sort of adversity then?
Well, it starts when I first started. I have a background. Tony Robbins is the big Unfortunately, and I hate to say this, he's more known than I am.
Yeah, a little.
A little bit, a smidge. And I just want to, and I'm glad you're giving me the outreach, the opportunity to show how much better I am. If I would have listened to Tony, I wouldn't have the car I live in today. So Tony is in the big ballrooms charging $5,000, right? And I expected that same type of reception, but that's not what happened. And this is what prepared me for the unexpected. So I started small. I started at the parking lot of the Motel 6.
Okay.
And then eventually I moved on to the Esso gas station.
Yeah.
Okay. And now I'm here at the Absolute Comedy Club because I had to recondition myself. I could have quit. So I am prepared, and being an intuitive, I'm able to foresee I can predict the past with a 70% accuracy.
That's it. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's better than Nostradamus.
Yeah, the past.
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm having a visual. I'm seeing a year, 1776. It happened. I'm telling you, look it up.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a ship. I'm seeing men with wigs. I'm seeing rum. I'm seeing tights. It's the first gay cruise.
That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah. That's what I see. So I'm an intuitive.
First lemon party.
Yeah, my auras are open.
Wow.
My auras are open because it's all about the crown chakra. And I'm rambling because I'm getting in touch with your audience here. And the crown chakra is your spiritual center above your head. It's like a spiritual cell phone. And you have to be careful. And the reason I have a very good plan, but the point is this: you have to pick your plan that you want with the spiritual source, which is directed above your head. And some providers only let you speak within your own network.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So under the Buddhist plan, you're one with all.
Yeah.
Now, under the Scientology plan, you can only speak within your own network, and you have to pay $10,000 a minute. However, you do get to speak with John Travolta. Now, the Jewish plan, you can't select. You have to be chosen.
Oh, you do? Yep, chosen plan.
You have to be chosen.
All right. Yeah, I'm not part of it.
Very
they didn't even choose
exclusive.
me. Okay, what other plans?
The Catholic plan, you have to pray every day. It's pray as you go. If you have a grandma that prays for everyone, that's called the family plan.
The family plan. Okay.
Now, under the Mormon plan, you only have one calling, and that's to the Philippines.
They get.
Under the ISIS plan, it'll cost you an arm and a leg.
Oh, jeez.
Never set it on airplane mode.
Savage.
Hey, Brandon. An arm and a leg.
At least I know the cost now, man. If I'm considering this, clubs I want to enter into, Tommy. It's nice to know, man.
Yeah, no, it's what I do on stage.
You get the bill though, and you just want to blow yourself up. I'll tell you, you really do.
Very good. Very good, Mr. Shapiro.
I'm telling you. Well, I'm not chosen by any of them, so it doesn't matter. I can say it. I'm not choosing any.
Now, when you switch providers, this confuses your body. That's how I got multiple personality disorder, or as the police call it, identity theft.
You did that too. Yeah. Brandon, how do you protect identity being a tech company?
Well, you got to have a lot of tools in place and having smart people in the company. So I don't know about multiple personality attacks, but that's a big part of things now with data, technology. It's because you see it all the time, man. A lot of companies have their data accessed or hacked into. So we just make sure that we work with strong tech partners as well, and that we have processes in place to protect that. Never storing customer information outside of certain databases, and how do you share certain types of information. It's something you got to be careful for, man, because the hacking and the hackers are looking for new ways, man, all the time to steal identity and use. You would think it would be easier, but I think it seems like it's harder. I don't know if that stuff happens as much, but I mean, have you guys had issues yourselves? Like I actually have an RFID wallet that protects people from stealing my information electronically, but I'm kind of paranoid.
I'm just paranoid because Tommy Lama is here. Tommy, do you are you good with you're on the up and up with the way the internet works? You don't take anyone's identity. You wouldn't do that, would you?
Only if it serves my purpose. I mean, only if my back's against the wall. I got to do what I have to do so I can get my message out there. But I normally don't do that. Very rarely will you catch me do that, nor will I admit to such dealings. But I feel, if you leave it out there and you're not protected, it's like having sex without a condom. You take the chance. It's a gamble. It's a rush. But the bottom line, even if your identity gets stolen or the condom breaks, you've reached rock bottom. And the thing is, why ever leave rock bottom? All your friends are there anyway.
It's an easier place to be, isn't it?
Yeah. Have a beer.
Have a beer. Have a new flogger. Brandon Ward, this has been a fun one. An interesting twist on the CEO profile and entrepreneurial spirit. We really appreciate everything you do with us, man. At Brandon Ward, CEO from Lifted.com and Lifted Innovations. Man, thanks for hanging out with us today. I hope you had a lot of fun.
Of course. Thanks, Todd. This is awesome. Tommy, it's nice meeting you, brother.
Nice meeting you.
You guys have a good one.
Thank you.
And Tommy Lama, what a fun time.
This is the Todd Shapiro Show on Canada Talks, SiriusXM 167.